Hello and welcome back to Unmasking Mum, the podcast with your host, me, Anna Bonasera. If you haven't been here before, thank you for joining us. Welcome. This is the podcast where I talk about things that have happened to me that Unmasking Mum is all about answering the questions that we have Googled, TikToked, Instagrammed, asked ourselves at 3 o'clock in the morning why we do this. If I'm honest, I'm a bit lost at the minute because I don't have a laptop, okay? I like to have my laptop and I write my notes down. And although I've got a phone, could do that. I could write notes. I just don't know why my brain can't compute. Trying to understand the neurodivergent brain is an ongoing thing. So I'm feeling a bit lost and I don't really have an idea to talk about this podcast. So I'm just going to ramble a bit about stuff that's happened recently. So we've had 2 weeks of the Easter holiday and we're now into the first week of school. One of mine had an incident on Monday, so I had 3 back on Monday and then I had my littlest and the other one back on Tuesday, which is fine, which is okay. It's been a busy Easter holidays. It's actually not been that bad. I've actually had some exciting things happen. Maybe I should share this. I'm going to be speaking at a festival called Womani Fest. I'm so excited. I have seen it for years and I have been not putting myself out there going to things recently, probably since COVID, to be fair. So like the past 6 years, I feel like I have retreated into myself. And this is something that I've really been thinking about a lot because I did like a timeline of kind of like my business journey or like my growth journey from like when I had the boys to like now, just to kind of like show what I've been through, a bit of like an authority piece. It was actually shocking how much I'd forgotten that I'd done. And I feel like I still miss stuff out. But like from like 2019 was like a big year when I look at it. Like I organized and ran a catwalk for like 30 odd women with 3 different outfit changes. And we all walked down in our lingerie. Was so empowering, got some amazing photos. So it was lovely to like kind of look back over that. And that is like when I was really into like my body confidence. After having Spencer in 2017, I just went on this journey. And I also wrote and published a book that year. So I started it. I went to a retreat in the May, I think. And then literally within 4 weeks, I had written 25,000 words or something, while having no sleep with the twins. And I look back now and I see the ADHD in this. I was like super hyper focused because when I went to that retreat, I felt like I had achieved nothing because I'd been to the retreat the year before. And obviously I'd had Spencer, so it was like basically like maternity leave, but not right. So I felt like I didn't want to go back to the retreat the next year without anything. So I made sure that I had something. I made sure that I was going to do it. And I was really hyper focused. There was like a whole talk on writing books and stuff. And after that, there was like a challenge that I joined. So that probably helped. And I ended up writing all these words while the twins were not really sleeping. And when I say not sleeping, they were getting out of their beds at anywhere between 4 a.m. and 11 p.m. And they wouldn't go back to sleep either. We had a stair gate on their door, but they managed to climb it sometimes. They would hurt each other. They would break things. One night they jumped over the gate and I must have been so tired because it wasn't like they did it once a week. It was like continuously. And I am normally so on edge. Like my anxiety was so high during that period of time. My mental health was on the floor. So I slept through them, going through, and then I woke up eventually. And when I went downstairs, I found them and they had tipped out. We have like one of those IKEA units with like the boxes, and it was like a really big one, like a 5x4, I think it is. And so every shelf either had books stacked, DVD stacked, and then like 2 rows of baskets of toys. Every single that was empty. They'd emptied it. They'd put all of the books on the floor, all of the DVDs on the floor, all of the toys on the floor. And I just remember coming down and just like absolutely breaking down in tears. So that's the kind of thing that we were dealing with at that time. And I managed to write a book. And now I can't literally, I've tried to write a book so many times since, and I've stop, start. And I'm like, how did I do it under that immense pressure? God knows, but I did it. So pat on the back for me. And I then published it in September. So Stretched, all about my self-confidence, body empowerment journey, loving the skin I'm in as a mum, even with all the changes that come with pregnancy, etc. And that then sparked me doing more things to do with body confidence. So I did so much that year. So we did the catwalk first, the book then came, then during writing this, or just after writing this, because I added more, I then ran 10K in my underwear in London. I can't tell you how nerve-wracking it was to do that. Literally, it was such an amazing achievement, but I almost didn't go because I was completely on my own, meeting like 1,000 odd women to do this Celebrate You part. It was part of a 10K that happens in London, but a specific group of women organised to do this Celebrate You walk. And it was amazing. It was such an incredible experience. And I love looking back at the photos, like so proud of it. But yeah, it was hard work emotionally, mentally getting me there. But I did it. But the actual run in the underwear, I didn't actually mind by that point. It was like actually getting there. That was the hard bit that I needed to coach myself on. And then at that time, I was also collaborating with two amazing ladies called Serena and Laura, and we created Love Thy Body Project. So we wrote our own book. I think that was actually into 2020 because I remember having a photo shoot, but we were doing stuff during that time. We had collaboration books where we had like loads of women. I think we did about 5, maybe 4. I can't remember. And we did all of this like amazing work where we had these women sharing their stories and feeling confident. And that was such an incredible experience to be part of. So I published 2, like one book I'd written on my own, one book I'd written in collaboration, and then all these other books that I helped to help the women to sculpt. You know, it was an absolute team effort, by the way, not just me. I did not do any of the editing of it. Just the rallying up of confidence. And we ran workshops together as well. So I was doing all of these things. And then 2020 hit. And in the end of 2019, because of the twins mainly being awake, my mental health was on the floor. And I probably, looking back, burnt myself out from doing all of these things as well. So I probably didn't help myself. But it was incredible experiences to look back on. But I went into 2020. Obviously, we know what's coming, you know, foreshadowing or whatever it's called. The year's going to get worse. I went into 2020 not great mentally. And maybe I did too much. That then I lost it. And when I say like struggling mentally, like the point where I reached out for help. Now that is a big deal for me because I bloody hate going to the doctors. I hate going to the doctors more than I hate going to the post office. And that's saying something because I really hate going to the post office, and referred myself for help and then got rejected because I was told that my low moods and anxieties were like normal due to my circumstances. So basically they don't know how to help you when you've got send children, and that's just your life. You've got to put up with it. And that was like, I hit breaking point at that point. That was in December. So I hit breaking point. I was literally on the floor. Probably the biggest breakdown I've had. Scared me, scared my husband. And I just remember thinking, if I don't help myself, no one else is gonna. So I did start picking up the pieces slowly, but it wasn't like an overnight thing. My dad also paid for me to have some hypnotherapy, which definitely helped. So then we went back into 2020. I had this goal and aspiration that I really wanted to put like empowering slogans onto t-shirts and jumpers and hoodies. And I call them statement tees. During the beginning of 2020, I started designing and trying to find people to like print them with. I couldn't really find anyone. I launched while we were in lockdown, I'm pretty sure. It's really hard to remember. We also got the twins specialist beds just before like the world shut down, basically, which was absolute godsend. So that actually made the beginning of lockdown more bearable because the sun was shining, we were getting some sleep. The twins were having a few days at schools because they were classed as vulnerable children. So I did have a little bit of space, although I was homeschooling Nathaniel and I had Spencer home, who was just like a baby, 18 months, something like that. So it was all, you know, life was a bit crazy and obviously everyone was on edge because, you know, what's going to happen? The world's going to end. That's what it kind of felt like, didn't it? At that time. But I definitely think that may be like the slowing down possibly help my mental health by the end of 2020. So then by the end of 2021, I was completely burnt out from doing all the things. I'm doing too much. No, I need to get better. I launched and the statement teas were amazing. I had such a good group. It was called Self-Love Detox. Everyone was so engaged back then. I feel like Facebook was different then. It was a great group. We had challenges. We did so many amazing things that helped each other like kind of get along. But I also had people reaching out to me like in a crisis point of view. And that really shook me because I felt them responsible for looking after them, which I know now, like looking back, it's not my responsibility, but it's really hard like when you're in that moment and you're getting these like desperate messages from people. And it felt really heavy to like carry that as well as everything else within my house with my children and everything. And we had a really, like everything was really successful. Each month I was launching new collections. So it was like, wow, hardcore. And although it was a good like routine because it kept me like motivated to keep doing it. But it was really hard to keep thinking creatively to then do a brand shoot every single month. Like, whoa, what was I thinking? And it wasn't like 1 or 2 designs. It was like at least 3. And they were supposed to be like one-off pieces. That was the idea. So that once they're gone, you don't get them again. And it worked really well. And then I started changing things to having like things on the website all the time, but still launching every month, but having old designs too. And I was doing all this myself, by the way, by this point, because I kind of couldn't find someone that I was 100% happy with. So I decided to just do it myself to make sure that I knew all the standards were all right going out and stuff. So I was printing it, I was packaging it, and I hate going to the post office. So my dad was amazing and he used to take everything for me. Then it kind of went on like this into 2021, still doing Love Thy Body project. And then I was just getting like so overwhelmed with doing all the things. Obviously it was like going in and out of lockdown and stuff. Oh God, honestly, awful. Like the change in routine for the kids. But also I feel like I really depend on having that change in routine, having that routine as well. Like not knowing whether we're coming or going. Like the twins were in 2 days 1 week, 3 days the next. And it was just like too much. And Nathaniel with his own neurodivergence, that's when it really came out and the struggles he had. So then he was going to my dad's every day to do homework, or most days to do homework, and then do homeschooling, and then coming home because he couldn't concentrate with us and I couldn't give him the one-to-one that he needed. So then by the end of 2021, I was really feeling it. Like I was feeling overwhelmed with doing all the things with the printing and then obviously having to post content and launching. And I just decided that in January, I was going to take a break. I was going to take a 3-month break. And I also left Love Thy Body project at the end of 2020. 2021, sorry, not good with numbers. So I went on this like kind of break of not doing that thing, of not doing the printing. And I kind of went more into like editing and confidence with like showing up on camera and stuff. And then in February, my dad died really suddenly, which is something I've talked about before. He had a stroke in one afternoon. We'd seen him in the morning, and then next time I saw him, he was hooked up to all the machines in a hospital, and I was being told there's nothing they could do. And that was the hardest thing of my entire life. No, telling my children, that was the hardest thing of my entire life. But that period of time was the hardest thing I've ever been through, and it's changed me. It's like really rocked me to my core. And it's now 4 years on, because that was in 2022. I still am changed, and I still will never be the same. No happy moment will ever be truly 100% happy. And sad moments are even sadder. But I do feel like I am coming back to myself a little bit. But when I look at the years after, and I don't think it was just the grief, I think lockdown definitely changed things for me. I have done so much less. I have put myself out there so much less. And seeing as I did so much on confidence and getting my body out there, that still wasn't an issue to me. Like I'm bigger now, and I would still get my ass out on a catwalk if I had the opportunity. Honestly, that doesn't bother me. I just so grateful I went through that journey, because although there's times where I'm like, I feel a bit, I don't hate myself. Sometimes close to uncomfortable, but I know how to work around that now. So they're like skills I'll have for life, which I'm really grateful for. But confidence in my mind, and I talked about this the other week about being trolled. Like I was trolled. So the summer after Dad died, I did this whole kind of thing like online where I called it Brave Mum Summer. And it was all about like just going out and doing things with the boys, because I have anxiety, and taking them all out is riddled with anxiety, because you do not know how they're going to react to things. And especially if I am alone. with 4 children in public spaces with people around, trying to keep everyone safe. People are going to judge, which is then going to trigger my anxiety. I found it really hard. So I did this whole summer and I did so much. It was to be fair, that was such an amazing summer. Then one of my Facebook reels got taken individually on its own with kind of out backstory of like what I was doing and why I was doing it. And it was basically me talking about feeling anxious about going to the cinema with them. Worrying what other people think. And people just took it. I had comments like, you shouldn't have them because you shouldn't be ashamed of your autistic children and all this stuff. I can't remember all the comments, but they rocked me. And I wasn't the same after that, posting on Facebook. I got hundreds of views, of thousands of views, and lots and lots of comments. And I couldn't hack it at that time in my life, very early on from losing my dad. And my dad wasn't just, my dad. He was like, I would talk to him about advice about every little thing. You have that one person in your life, or hopefully you do, who you pick up the phone and you could talk anything. Could be about your children, could be about life, could be about work, could be about anything. And he was the one. He was the one that I talked to the most. We had lots in common. I'm so lucky to have an amazing relationship with my mum as well, but we aren't the same. We're very different in lots of ways. So losing that was like such a big heartache and a void. So I was just not prepared for that. And it just stopped me from posting on Facebook. Like I went to TikTok a lot more and Instagram. And yeah, I kind of steer cleared of Facebook. But I had got like almost 10,000 followers from doing all those videos on Facebook. So I kind of like abandoned a community. And I had so many nice comments as well. Honestly, so many nice comments, so many nice messages saying stuff about the videos. But I did let it get to my head and my brain just spiraled and I couldn't stop thinking about it, when it just all consumes you. So at that point in time, I just couldn't. I had to stop and I had to step back. So I did. And it's really sad that stopped me. And that's why it's really important that, the trolling I had the other week, I made the decision to limit who could comment on it. And I stopped reading the comments and I stepped back from it. I did get a bit of a Facebook payout for that. So cheers, haters. I mean, it's like it's not in your over 100, let's just say $100 anyway, over $100. So I guess getting a bit of hate has its benefits sometimes. 1 million views, I think it had between the 2 posts that I got trolled on. So silver lining to that, I guess. But yeah, it was just really important to look back and reflect on everything I have done, because I have done a lot and I've forgotten a lot. And I feel like that's a really important thing. Like, I think that maybe you guys should step back and look at what you've done, because you might not have done like lingeries in your underwear or written a book, but look how far you've come. Just, really take some time to reflect on that. And I just think it's really important to celebrate even the smallest of wins. Yes, this has been a bit of a ramble about the timeline, but I just found it so interesting to kind of go through and look what I've done, and really sad how much like my dad's death has really affected me and stopped me from going out there. And obviously having Mila, she came in 2023 and she has been a Velcro baby. She is a Velcro baby. So that has been hard work too. But I feel like I'm finally getting myself out there, putting myself forward for opportunities. I'm going to speak at World Manifest. I'm so excited about that. And also our community group, Send and Friends, that I run for families who have send children. So I do weekly drop-ins in the term time. And then in the holidays, we put on like family inclusive activities, fun for all the family. Like we did a little cinema trip. We rented a whole screener. It was so much fun. I love that. I mean, I was so stressed. I was stressed through my eyeballs. I don't remember any of the film, but everyone had a good time. So looking back on it, it was a happy moment. But we got nominated for a National Diversity Award. So if you would like to vote for me, for us, for our community, we'd really, really appreciate it. So I know there's probably not a chance we're going to win that, because that is one hell of a big award. And there's going to be a lot of people who go for it, probably who are a lot bigger than us. But it would still be nice to have some votes, wouldn't it? So yeah, appreciate it. Thank you so much. But yes, hopefully this ramble of the timeline has given you some food for thought of what you have been through and what is missing. What have you done in the past that you don't do anymore. How can you make time for that? How can you make time to do stuff? Like, I think, I was talking to my husband last night because he was saying about how he doesn't do anything socially, and I feel so sorry for him. And obviously I'm trying to do more things now, and he's not trying to make me feel guilty. He just wants something for himself as well, which I totally get. We so need, don't we, outside of work and family and all the other things that come with those responsibilities. We need something social. So, there will never be the right time to start for something, and your schedule will always look jam-packed, but there is always a way of working things around so that you can actually go and do something that makes you happy, that keeps you sane, that makes you feel more healthy and all round. Do you know what I mean? Health's just not about what you eat and what you exercise. It's also about like the kind of the joy you get and the doing things and the social aspect. So go and find something for you that you used to do or that you want to start doing, and just sit with it and just see how it could fit into your life. Start baby steps, but just do something that you want to do or you have done and you miss. Go and do it. Anyway, thank you so much for listening. I'll be more organised next time because hopefully my laptop's going to be fixed today. Fingers crossed. And I'll be able to post this soon. I am sending you all my love, and I will see you very soon. If you want to share as well, please do. All the shares, appreciate it. Bye.